I've got like a team in place, but it's also making sure everyone has the right roles and everything kind of intertwines and people kind of crossing over doing something that they shouldn't really be actioning, but it kind of gets a little bit messy when everyone's in the steam of just getting things done. And then before you know it, you've got multiple people actioning the one thing, and it's like, well, why the fuck are we all focusing on that when you should be doing your role, if that makes sense? How to make that a little bit more refined, like, because it's just sometimes it's chaos.
It makes perfect sense, mate. I'm feeling your pain like never before. What do you think the two options are, Tommy, before I jump in?
We started using this program called Monday, where you got all your tasks and it's actions to some individual people. You can kind of say whether you're working on it or when it needs to be sorted by. But even having that program, I don't know why people think like this, but they action other people's items, and you're like, if you just look 2 columns over, it won't actually say your name. So it's like, how to make people aware of what they're doing, I guess. That was the one process we kind of tried to bring in to make it a little bit smoother. I haven't really got it back up. So,
so can I first go back to that conversation that we had with we had at the start of the year about one of your main guys on how to get more out of him. What was the general conversation of that?
I think we were kind of offering more of a goal to those employees as well to get more out of them. They were kind of all getting a little bit complacent, I guess, and giving them goals and achievements that would make them feel more fulfilled in their career and stuff, which definitely works and it has been working, almost working too well, I guess you'd say, because you got multiple people trying to do more things, if that makes sense.
So I think if I go back to your main guy, I won't drop names, but your main guy at the start of the year, he wasn't really sure of his exact role. Like he wasn't really sure of what you expected from him. He wasn't sure of his exact role. He wasn't sure of his purpose in this business. He wasn't sure of how he was to really succeed and what you really needed him to do. And I suppose you weren't even really aware of that because
no, I wasn't.
You weren't aware. And luckily, sometimes I can look at what happens objectively, and I can help you with your blind spots. Now, you went out and you spoke to him, and you had an open conversation about like what he wants to do, what he loves doing, what he wants to aspire to do, how you can get the best out of him, how he can get the best out of you, etc., etc. I did see both you and him and your partnership come leaps and bounds from that conversation, from that awareness. Okay. I think so often in our businesses, and this is pointing the finger at me more than even you guys, is we get so busy doing the work, so busy satisfying the clients, so busy focusing on the money, focusing on developing, etc., that we miss probably our biggest asset in our business, which is our people. And so that half an hour out, that 1 hour out, whatever it may be with our team to go, hey, I want to reset. Just like we've spoken about with Jack, I want to reset. I want to take you for coffee. I want to be clear on, I suppose, your role and your responsibility and how you help this business and what I need from you right now. And I also want you to tell me what you want and what you want to aspire to be, et cetera, et cetera. Just being able to have that communication done somewhat frequently, whether it's every month, whether it's every quarter, it enables you to both get on the same page with roles, responsibilities, expectations, targets, et cetera, et cetera. But if we don't do that, we miss the greatest opportunity for them to succeed because they go out and they just start ticking off each other's tasks. They do jobs that are low value. They cause more mess than they actually cause impact. And so I think it's really important, and trust me when I say this, like this is a big work in progress for myself, and Andrew will vouch for this, is you need to make time for the development of your people, because when I don't make the time, they do what they want to do. They don't do what they should do. They don't do the tasks they should do. They go and do other people's tasks, and they do things that are just not relevant. And so getting on the same page with these roles, responsibilities, and expectations on an ongoing basis will have your guys performing at like a 80 to 90% versus a 40 to 45%. So the same goes with if you're using Monday.com. Trust me, mate, like don't just let them use Monday.com. Go over a training, even if it's all of them together for an hour over some beers, right? And go, this is how we use it. This is how I want you to use it. This is the expectations of how you use Monday.com. This is why we're using Monday.com, right? Because if you do that with 5 guys at once, they should all be very clear. And that saves you having to do individual meetings with each of these 5 that's going to take 5 hours. So you can also find a way to fast pace how quickly you communicate with the guys in your business. And that just might be, like I said, guys, here's 6 beers. Let's go to Monday.com. I'm going to show you why you use it, how to use it, when to use it, what to use, because right now we're all doing each other's tasks. And that's not what we're trying to do. So yeah, I do think this comes down to you, mate, and your communication with your crew on what you really want. I do think that's at the root of the issue. And I think it's at the root of my issues as well, is we know in our head how we want this business to run. We know what the highest value, most important things in this business are right now. They don't. They just, like Andrew, what I want from Andrew right now, Andrew doesn't know. He doesn't fully understand what I really need from him right now. And then vice versa, what Andrew needs from me right now, I don't really understand. I don't really know what Andrew wants from me right now. And I think if you guys can be very consciously aware of this and take full responsibility that they're not performing because they don't really understand exactly what you want, you'll find a drastic change. And that's why if you go back to your history of when you were employed and your boss might have sat you down and said, hey, let's have a coffee or a beer or let's have a chat, you felt like you were almost understood. You felt like you were almost valued. You felt like, oh shit. And then you probably left those meetings and went, yeah, I'm on here. Like, this is cool. I kind of got some goals again. I got some aspirations. I kind of feel a bit motivated, just like Jack wasn't, that now they want to work for you because they know what you want from them. They know what they need to achieve. They know the goalposts. So I think it's something I'm learning more and more. You've got to have time for your guys, not time for your guys as in what's your problems. This is how you whack a nail in. I'm talking about time for deeper, why they're even working for you and what they really want.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I think they know what I want, but in my head, I think they know I know what they need to do, but then they got no idea what I'm thinking because we've got a million things going on.
Mate, mate, there's no way they know what you want. Like, I know they know what I want. They know what I want. You gotta remember, they've got like 500 other distractions right now in their life, in their heads, that unless you tell them what you really want, they're just going to go do something because they do something.
Yeah. They just look at a big list and go, I'll just do that because that's what I think needs to be done. But no one knows there's 3 other people acting the same thing.
Exactly. And so guess what? Here's why you need to fix this so bad, is because otherwise you hold this painful energy with these staff members every day because you're like, fuck, I just wish they would do what I need them to do. Why do I pay for all these wages? Why do I pay for these people? Like, it just does my head in. I can't wait for the weekend. No, switch it. Go, I'm gonna put my time into these guys. I'm going to explain what I really, really need from them, like today, And then when I sleep tonight, I'm going to feel really good that like a lot of this important stuff got done because I led them the correct way and communicated with them the correct way.
Yeah.
There's a lot more peace in that.
Yeah.
It's like when we do strategic planning or we do these coaching sessions, we're leading the business, we're leading our time, we're leading our schedule, we're leading our calendars. Guess what? We've got to go and then lead the team to lead their calendars, to lead their schedules, to lead what they need to focus on. This very much becomes you guys intentionally leading your time, leading your people, leading the things around you. So your life's a hell of a lot easier.
Like doing weekly team meetings and actually sticking to it. But we try and do them every Monday, but half the time we actually don't get to it till probably Wednesday. Just because there's too much shit happening on Monday.
So 12 months ago, we were doing huddles every day for 15, 20 minutes, right? And I would be like, yeah, we're doing huddles, guys. And then the next week we wouldn't do a huddle. And then the next week we do huddles. And it was just this, like, there was no commitment. And then about 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago, I was like, we're doing huddles every day. And we haven't missed one huddle because I don't want to be the reason that we relapsed because I'm the reason, right? And so we started doing fortnightly catch-ups with the team where we catch up for about 45 minutes. So I'm focusing on their goals, what they need help with and their priorities in the business. I'm not going to let them stop because if I let them stop, we're back to square one again. So you do have to commit to these things. Otherwise, you're setting the I suppose the expectation that, oh yeah, they don't really place that great of importance on performance.
Agreed.
That's
because half the time I'm the reason we don't actually meet up because I've booked something else or trying to sort something out, and it makes it tricky. But if you kind of get regimented with those meetings and keep everyone happy, it works a bit smoother.
It does, and you just got to tell yourself, that if I stick to these meetings, these team meetings, or I stick to these one-on-one meetings with each of the team, and I really clearly let them know what I really want and what I really need, and I also listen to them, you got a recipe for success. Like you're leading your team on what you really want and what you really need. And it's all the stress, frustration, ambiguity out of the scenario. Right? You do the same with your team, the same with your clients. I'm going to lead them. I'm going to communicate with them what I really need, how I can really help them. It's applicable on every facet of your business.
Yeah.
If you don't lead what you want to happen, it won't happen. If you don't lead what you want from your team won't happen. If you don't lead what you want from your numbers so you can get into developing, it won't happen. If you don't lead your marketers what you need from your marketers, they won't market. This is universal. If you don't lead your calendar on working on the business and being on the tools, guess what? Your calendar is going to be an absolute shit fight of you running to someone else's agenda.